If you live or do business in Virginia, the decisions being discussed right now could quietly shape your financial future, your neighborhood, and your local economy for the next decade. This Virginia cannabis retail market update is not speculation. It is about real legislative movement, real timelines, and real consequences, especially for Norfolk and Hampton Roads. Here's the context. For years, Virginia has existed in a legal contradiction. Adult possession of cannabis is legal under state law, yet there is no regulated adult-use retail market. That gap has created confusion, enforcement challenges, and economic strain for individuals, local governments, and entire industries. This Virginia cannabis retail market update comes at a moment of transition. Lawmakers are preparing to reintroduce legislation during the 2026 General Assembly session that would finally establish a regulated retail system for adult-use cannabis sales. Unlike past attempts, the political environment has changed. Here's the legal explanation. At the state level, Virginia lawmakers are expected to reintroduce a retail cannabis bill that was previously blocked by executive veto. The election of Governor-elect Abigail Spanberger has altered expectations in Richmond. She has publicly expressed support for a regulated adult-use retail market, giving proponents renewed confidence that the legislation could pass. Under the proposed framework, licensing applications could open as early as summer 2026. Retail sales could potentially begin by November 2026. These dates are projections, not guarantees, but they provide the clearest roadmap Virginia has had since legalization of possession. The proposed legislation emphasizes several regulatory pillars. Local control over dispensary locations. Authority for localities to impose taxes up to 3.5%. Prioritization of small businesses and economic justice applicants. Statewide compliance and tracking requirements. This Virginia cannabis retail market update is not about deregulation. It is about structured oversight. Who it affects. This affects more people than many realize. It affects potential business owners deciding whether to prepare now or wait. It affects existing medical cannabis operators watching for market expansion. It affects local governments like Norfolk preparing zoning frameworks. It affects public safety agencies tracking impairment and health trends. It affects hemp farmers who have struggled during years of delay. Even residents who never planned to enter the industry will feel the impact through zoning decisions, tax structures, and local policy debates. Why it matters. In Norfolk, this matters because the city has already begun preparing quietly. As early as 2022, Norfolk leaders discussed zoning rules for future dispensaries, including distance requirements from schools and daycares and potential limits on operating hours. These discussions were not symbolic. They were groundwork. This Virginia cannabis retail market update also intersects with public safety concerns. A recent DMV report showed an increase in cannabis-positive blood samples among drivers statewide. Hospitals across Virginia are reporting a rise in THC ingestion by children, often linked to products designed to resemble common snack foods. These trends are shaping how lawmakers approach regulation, packaging, enforcement, and education. This is why understanding the law before it passes matters more than reacting after. Here's the scenario. Imagine a Norfolk entrepreneur who has spent years preparing for a retail opportunity. They understand zoning, compliance, and community engagement. When licensing opens, they are ready. Now imagine another business owner who assumes there will be plenty of time after the law passes. They wait. Zoning decisions are finalized. Application windows close quickly. Opportunities narrow. Both followed the law. Only one was informed early. That is the real difference this Virginia cannabis retail market update represents. Local Norfolk policy context. Norfolk has already confronted cannabis-related policy challenges. A recent appeal by a terminated firefighter over off-duty medical cannabis use was denied, highlighting earlier inconsistencies in city policy. Those inconsistencies were later addressed in 2024 when Norfolk aligned its policies with new state protections for public sector employees. This shows how cannabis law touches employment, liability, and governance long before retail sales begin. Here's what to watch next. As the 2026 session approaches, watch for formal bill language and committee assignments, local government zoning proposals, state agency rulemaking timelines, public safety data influencing regulation. Each of these developments will shape how the retail market functions in practice, not just on paper. Question: should Norfolk take a proactive approach in shaping cannabis zoning and licensing rules now, or wait until state law is finalized? Put your answer in the comments and keep the discussion respectful and fact-based. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more Virginia-focused legal breakdowns. For deeper analysis, read the full written breakdown and join the discussion inside the Norfolk City Cannabis Community Forum.